Contentment. Contentment is not an innate virtue. It is acquired through great resolution and diligence in conquering unruly desires. Hence it is an art which few study. Because there are millions of discontented souls in the world today, it might be helpful for them to analyze the four main causes of discontent and to suggest means to contentment. The principal cause of discontent is egotism or selfishness, which sets the self up as a primary plant around which everyone else must revolve. The second cause of discontent is envy, which makes us regard the possessions and the talents of others as if they were stolen from us. The third cause is covetousness, or an inordinate desire to have more, in order to compensate for the emptiness of our heart. The fourth cause of discontent is jealousy, which is sometimes occasioned through melancholia and sadness, and at other times by a hatred of those who have what we wish for ourselves. One of the greatest mistakes is to think that contentment comes from something outside us rather than from a quality of the soul. There was once a boy who only wanted a marble. When he had a marble, he only wanted a ball. When he had a ball, he only wanted a top. When he had a top, he only wanted a kite. And when he had the marble, the ball, the top, and the kite, he still was not happy. Trying to make a discontented person happy is like trying to fill a sea with water. However much you pour into it, it runs out too rapidly for you to catch up. Nor is contentment to be found in an exchange of places. There are some who believe that if they were in a different part of the earth, they would have a greater peace of soul. A goldfish in a globe in water and a canary in a cage on a hot day began talking. The fish said, "I wish I could swing like that canary. I'd like to be up there in that cage." And the canary said, "Oh, how nice to be down in that cool water where the fish is." Suddenly a voice said, "Canary, go down to the water, fish, go up to the cage." Immediately they exchanged places, but neither was happy, because God originally had given each a place according to his ability, one that best suited his own nature. The condition of our contentment is to be contained, to recognize limits. Whatever is within limits is likely to be quiet. A walled garden is one of the quietest places in the world. The world is shut out, and through its gates one can look upon it with the affection of distance, borrowing enchantment from it. So, if the soul of man is kept within limits, that is to say, not avaricious, greedy, overreaching, nor selfish, it too is shut into a calm, quiet, sunny contentment. Contented man, limited and bound by circumstances, makes those very limits the cure of his restlessness. It is not to the point whether a garden has 1 acre or 3, or whether or not it has a wall. What matters is that we shall live within its bounds, whether they be large or small, in order that we can possess a quiet spirit and a happy heart. Contentment, therefore, comes in part from faith. That is, from knowing the purpose of life and being assured that whatever the trials are, they come from the hand of a loving Father. Secondly, in order to have contentment, one must also have a good conscience. If the inner self is unhappy because of moral failures and unatoned guilt, then nothing external can give rest to the spirit. A third and final need is mortification of desires, the limitation of delights. What we overlove, we often overgrieve. Contentment enhances our enjoyment and diminishes our misery. All evils become lighter if we endure them patiently, but the greatest benefits can be poisoned by discontent. The miseries of life are sufficiently deep and extensive, without our adding to them unnecessarily. Contentment with our worldly condition is not inconsistent with the desire for betterment. To the poorest man, Christianity says not to be merely content, but be diligent in business. The contentment enjoined is for the time being. Man is poor today, and for this day faith enjoins him to be satisfied. But deliverance from his poverty may be best for tomorrow, and therefore the poor man works for his increased prosperity. He may not succeed. If his poverty continues for another day, he accepts it, and then proceeds until relief comes. Thus, contentment is relative to our present state, and is not absolute in respect to the entire demands of our nature. A contented man is never poor, though he have very, very little. The discontented man is never rich, let him have so very much